Hi everyone, it's Kylie from Painted Wing. In today's video, I'm going to be demonstrating how to paint this polar bear with watercolors. This piece will be painted just using two colors, yellow ochre and Prussian blue. I'll have a drawing template for this piece on my free memberships on Patreon. I'll have a link to that in the description of my video. Otherwise, let's get started painting. We're going to start off by adding our first layer of paint. For this first layer, we'll be using both the yellow ochre and the Prussian blue. It doesn't really matter where you start painting, but I'm going to start over here on the leg. I'm going to first add some yellow ochre. I'm adding this wet paint while the paper is dry. Now I'm going to blend out this paint after dipping my brush into water. Now things look a lot softer. While this area is wet, I'm going to dip some blue paint onto the edge of the leg here. And then I'm going to dab some blue over here. And I'm going to dab some more yellow ochre into this area. I'm going to continue filling in the polar bear's body. Try to keep things light while you paint the bear. To keep your paint light, add some extra water to dilute it. For the areas where there's shadows though, I'm going to make my paint a little bit more saturated, such as the blue I'm adding right here. The shadows I'm adding will help define where the legs are. I'm going to soften this area a little bit. And then add a little yellow ochre. I'm not painting this polar bear to look necessarily realistic. I'm instead trying to create a pretty wash of these two colors. Also keep in mind while you're painting that while things are wet, your colors will appear a little darker, so things will lighten once it dries. I'm going to add some more blue for the shadows. And I'm going to add a shadow along the back of the leg as well. While I continue up the neck, I'm be using more yellow ochre. And then under the jaw and then along the mouth, I'm using some blue. Before I allow this layer to dry, I'm going to add some splashes of water to create texture. It'll also soften and lighten the colors a little too. And here's how things look after things dry. We have a nice base layer here. We just need to add some more value and details. I'm going to add some blue paint around the nose here. I'm going to start painting in this back leg with yellow ochre. The paint looks a little intense right now, but in order to fix that, I can just add some more water. Now I'm going to start adding some more paint to define some areas, such as the top of the feet here, and then along the leg. My paint looks a little weird here, so I'm just going to blend it out a little. And then along the abdomen, I'm going to add a shadow as well. This will help show the shape of the bear. Next, let's allow this area to dry. Since the fur on the bear's ear is white, we're going to paint the shadow around it instead. After adding paint to the outside of the bear's ear, blend it out using some water. Also add some blue paint for the nose and eye of the bear. Things are looking pretty nice so far, but I still want to add some additional contrast. I'm going to use less water with my paint so it appears darker. I'm going to add extra paint to the front of the chest here, around the legs, and then on top of the bear's claws. Adding a few marks here, and I still want to deepen the color on the face, so I'm going to add some more paint there as well. And then after that layer is dry, get your paint really saturated and add the last layer. This will really help define your shapes. And after those final details, your bear should be complete. I think it turned out pretty cute for such a simple piece. I think the piece would look really nice matted, such as this cream matte here, or maybe a gray. I did do another polar bear painting. This one I recorded for my Patreon account.